Let's get it going. Let's. I want to do an incentive. Whoever does X, we'll do like a dinner type thing or whatever. Create incentives in your team. Get them motivated to want to hit a goal, and automatically you're gonna grow. Because you hit director. When you hit the prior to director, it's all about me. In order to go from director and up, you gotta start to help the team. You gotta get people in the organization leveling up. Of course, bring in your own people as well, but you gotta help the team when you're going from director and up. Um, how should struggling to work with my partners? Like, okay, Louis saying he's struggling to work with his partners, text them every day, but they don't reply back. Louis, the only person you can look at right now is yourself in the mirror. And if you are in a situation where you're frustrated, you're annoyed, you're not, you're in a frustrated situation.
Hello.
Hey, Kershaw, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? It's going all
Yeah.
right.
All right, I can't see you. Oh, there we go. There you go.
Mhm.
How you been?
I've been all right.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yes, thanks for
So,
joining. Go
so I
ahead. You
see
had a
you're advertising these digital
franchise?
franchises.
Yeah.
I have the physical franchises. I would like to learn about the digital ones.
Mm. What kind of physical franchise do you own?
I have two Egg Smart and one Little Caesars.
Oh, nice. So how's that going for
Hmm. They're going okay, but I'm in Brampton and Brampton is changing.
you? Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, Brampton's changing. Unpack that for me.
Brampton is changing. There's only one demographic that's gonna be in Brampton.
Mhm.
If you notice, it's not as multicultural as it was when we were in school or a
Yeah.
few years ago. So my market, which is breakfast and lunch, for instance,
Mhm.
if I'm not catering to halal, or, my
Mhm.
menu is not conducive to that culture, it doesn't work anymore.
Mhm. So how long have you owned those for?
Almost 7 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
Nice.
I see
Okay.
a dip in my sales, so
Mm.
I
Are you,
need to up my game, man.
yeah, are you profitable? Are you taking losses right now?
Right now, yes. On the breakfast side, the pizza side, we're still okay. The
Mm-hmm.
breakfast side, I'm taking a loss right now.
Mm-hmm. I believe your Egg Smart, is it the one on Queen and McLaughlin?
Yes.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. Okay. So the pizza's going good. It's just
Yeah.
that, the egg one is
Mhm.
you're taking a bit of losses because it's only breakfast, right?
Yes, breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch. Okay. And I get what you're saying. The Indian community, they're not really gravitated towards those.
And it's not, it's not a matter of, it's not a race thing. And I know a lot of times people say, oh, you should just adapt. But even where customer service is concerned, I don't think they understand how customer service should be done.
Mm.
They don't understand a lot of things that are not in their culture that is here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So we would completely have to revamp what we do just to get back to where we're making a profit. Perfect example, we have smoked salmon on our menu. We had somebody come in and order some smoked salmon and then went on Google and said we gave them raw fish. But we all
Oh,
know that smoked salmon
yeah,
is not, it's sushi salmon,
yeah,
basically. A
exactly.
Canadian would know that, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't understand that. So
Mm,
that's the kind of issues we're facing.
wow. And then like approximately like how like in terms of collectively, because obviously I see it sounds like the pizza's kind of like what's helping keep you afloat, right?
Right now.
Yeah, but overall, when you're adding your expenses, because I'm taking you have a lease on all locations, right? So every month
Mhm.
you have your lease. Like, what does your end of month look like? Like, is it profitable? Like with all three, like does the pizza place carry it to where you're still profitable?
It does. It
Oh,
does.
good, 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 good. Okay,
But before I get to a point where I'm not, I gotta do
exactly.
something else
But
because,
yep.
yeah, to be honest with you, I've been doing this now for 7 years where I'm not working for someone,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that freedom. So
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
that's it for me.
Yeah. So based on the course of how you're going right now, like what does your timeline look like? Because right now it's carrying, but obviously each month, it
Mhm.
eats into it. Like in terms of timeline, like what's the timeline looking at to where it's gonna be where it's like they're going the other way, like
I'm giving it another 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So for your other for the Egg Smart thing, are you looking to sell the location? Or are you looking to or are you still just
Yes.
hold on to it?
So I have two locations. So I am looking at selling the Brampton location. I have another location in Toronto,
Mhm,
North York, which is still pretty profitable right now.
mhm.
So the Brampton location I'm looking at selling.
Okay. And you're a mortgage broker, right?
No, that was like back in the day.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay. No, but you're entrepreneurial, and honestly, that's who we're looking for, even
Mhm.
with the digital franchise, and we're looking for entrepreneurs. Everyone in there is pretty much entrepreneurial. We have mortgage brokers, realtors. We have it's I don't know, California Sandwiches?
Yes, I've heard of them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. So the owner of California Sandwiches is also a digital franchise owner. We have, many, many entrepreneurs and business owners. There's a Lamborghini dealership in Toronto. Their top rep, Heather, she's on board with us. So it's something that a lot of people are actually gravitating towards because there is no overhead. That's what most business owners like about it. There's no overhead, and the overhead keeps eating in, regardless of the profits that you're making. A lot of times overhead, that's something like you said, you have a 6-month gap. It's kind of like you have to kind of like analyze the whole scenario, and then
Exactly.
you're looking at your future. So what was it, if I'm just curious, that when you went through my stories or my feeds and stuff about the digital franchises, what was it that caught your attention?
Well, the the term digital franchise, that's what caught my attention, because everything is going digital.
Yeah.
Within the next couple of years, we're not gonna have need for anything, but if it's not electronic, we're not gonna have a need for it.
Yeah.
So even for myself and the franchises that are still around, the brick and mortar kind of businesses, they're gonna have to upgrade themselves to adapt to that kind of scene, right?
Yep. Yep.
So me
But-
personally, I don't really like the technology,
Uh-huh.
but you have to adopt if you want to stay in business.
Exactly. And
For
it's interesting because the owner of California Sandwiches, he brought that up as well. He was saying that right now, even with his business, most of his business comes through like Uber Eats, DoorDash, like all the online portals instead of walk-ins. And of course he has to pay his fee to them and stuff like that. But the business model it's just
that's
something
where
that,
it's heading.
yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, great. So, so first, pretty much this first call, it's more for us to, just find out, what you've been doing in the past, how it's been working for you, right? And then, see if we can actually help you, like, see if this is something that is a fit for you, right? Because it's it's not for everyone, right? But the people who see it, they see it, and the power of duplication is really helping everyone grow, right? To where you get your time back, right?
Yeah.
So so like in terms of what we have, I'm definitely going to go through that, but it's more about and what you want, right? So even when you started your franchises and the different locations and even looking at other opportunities, like what is your reasoning? Like, who are you doing it for? Like what's the reason that you're so ambitious?
For me, my reason for being so ambitious, it's a lot. There's a lot of reasons. One is I don't want to be put in that box anymore. I think I made that decision a long time ago, right after I finished high school, not to be put in that box of, just being a regular 9 to 5er, not being able to travel as I would like, not being able to, my family didn't come from wealth. So I'm not waiting for an inheritance. However, I would like to leave an inheritance for my kids. You go back to reading the Bible. We all was brought up in the church, and it says in the Bible, we're supposed to leave an inheritance for our kids and our kids' kids. So how do you do that? You can't do that by working for someone 9 to 5. I did that for 14 years while I was building my own thing. Worked for Hydro One as an accountant for 14 years, and I didn't see where that was going to take me to even a proper retirement. And I said, you know what? No, I got to break out of this. My kids got to see me break out of this. And I just gotta. It's just it's better to trust yourself than to trust in a man.
Yep.
You trust yourself. You know that if I need to pay my bills this month, you can go out there and you can hustle that.
Yeah.
You trust in a man. You're going to work today. They don't need you anymore. They don't need you anymore. That's it. You're done. You're over with. So that's just where it was. It was for me, and I just decided, hey, it's either all in or none at all.
Wow. So besides you actually realizing that everyone is in a rat race and we got to get out of it. We got to get out of it, right? And for you to know that you have to leave an inheritance for your children, and not stay in the box. Do you like what you're currently, like the current situation you're in? Because right now you are kind of breaking out, right? You took those risks. You own the franchises, right? But do you like right now with the current situation and everything like that? Like you said, the change in brick and mortar and digital and stuff like that. Like like where you're currently at right now. Is it something that you like?
Where I'm at right now is a little bit uncomfortable. No, it's not, it's not the ideal situation. Where I would like, in terms of where the digital, I realize that you have to change with the times. I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you got to learn it. If you have to take a course, you got to do it. You just got to do what you got to do because it needs to be done.
But take me back though, like you're going a little ahead right now, because you said it's a bit uncomfortable. Can you unpack that for me?
Uncomfortable in the sense that you don't know what the future has in store. The markets are a little bit, I even have a couple other properties where the market is a little bit iffy. You don't know when to sell, you don't know anymore. Once upon a time before COVID, real estate was running the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're anything to do with real estate, you touch anything, it's gold. Right now, even for my own property, it's like I have 3 properties and the value in them, it's gone. However, 4 years ago, they had great value. So it's a little bit
Hello? Hello?
sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, so it's everything is shifting.
Yeah.
I love the restaurant industry. I love the real estate industry, but things are shifting.
Yeah.
And you have to shift with the times.
Exactly. No, thank you for unpacking that. And I'm feeling how you're feeling, and just being in real estate. I have a lot of clients that are actually feeling the same way. And they're becoming partners on here as well, because I have a client that has multiple doors, about 20 doors, right, in real estate, and he's over leveraged. Way over leveraged, right? Because before with the variable rate, at 2%, everything looks good. You're getting your cash flow, right? And then now the rates are more than doubled, right?
Yep.
So he's just been kind of pouring out, and his expenses were about like 15,000 per month that he had to put out of pocket, right? And when I asked him the same question, he kind of had a timeline too. He's like, honestly, like right now I have like 5 more months of this, and then hopefully things get back to where they were, or get a situation, right? And it's
and
definitely.
I think that's what it's like for people right across the board right now. Just kind of this thing really just hit everybody hard, all industry, I think.
Yep, it's a trickle effect, right? It's a trickle effect. Yep. I know contractors, that don't have as much work, because the thing is, if the housing industry, it starts with the rates, but then if there's no real estate transactions happening, then it trickles down to contractors. It trickles down to pretty much even everything from transport and everything, because it's like a chain. You know what I mean? It's a chain that's happening, right? And I can imagine for your situation, you have 3 locations, right? Business locations, you have real estate, and then there's overhead. And then even with the real estate, you have property tax. You have all these other expenses that keep coming. And then for your businesses, you have your employees, you have, the overhead, and then you gotta do your income tax. And then you gotta, what I mean? It's like all this money that's coming out, you have to kind of replenish it coming in. So I definitely feel you on that. With when you say that it's uncomfortable, right? And that's pretty much, like you said, it's happening all over. And, people are looking for, just solutions, different avenues that can help, at least balance and then eventually even take off, and digital franchising is doing that. The person who introduced me, his name is Bikram Dasant. She's a realtor as well, right?
Mhm.
Him himself, he has a good amount of doors, and then also Christian, they do exclusive Airbnb luxury properties, right? And when they got involved with the digital franchise and introduced me to it, I was wondering, okay, yeah, digital franchise is interesting, but why are you guys involved in this? Because Bikram, in real estate, he's done over $1 billion in sales, right? But his whole thing is real estate transactional, right? And it's true, it's transactional. Like, regardless of how you did last year, of course you want each year to be better, but if there's economic factors that are holding you back, where you have really no control over, you can't guarantee that you're going to have a better year, this year, because economic factors is something that you cannot control. So that's
It's
something
true.
that really stood out to him, is like every year you got to start from zero in real estate, right? And then with Christian, with his Airbnb properties, he's noticing that the bookings aren't as much because people are holding on to their money right now, right? So but he still has to pay his overhead, on all of these different properties, So it's like you said, it's happening all over, right? And this solution right here, with digital franchising, it's a next revenue source, and
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what it is. Obviously there's other things that to get involved with, but this thing right here, it is helping, it is helping in many ways. And that's why I wanted to break it down to you and show it to you, so see if it makes sense, and if it's something that does make sense for you. We're actually, we're looking for partners, right,
Mhm.
to be on board with us, and we're growing really fast. And with you on board with the team, or even anyone that you feel, hey, no, there's pretty much two things: either they want to improve their health, right, or they're looking for a cash flowing business, that's paying, which is pretty much digital, so it's through your phone, right? So the mission in the office is there's 1% mission. All right.
Mhm.
And the 1% mission is there's 15 million people in Ontario. Okay.
Okay.
And this company just expanded into Ontario. I'll go over the length of them, but they've been in business over 30 years, debt free, right? But the expansion is 1%. So 1% is 15 million people in Ontario, right? And there's a payout of 50%, 56% profit share. What's
Mhm.
happening with this company, and our goal is just 1%, of the people actually using our products, right? Which is
Okay.
150,000 people in Ontario, right? And with that, there's a revenue share of 180 million. We're on pace. We're on pace to that this year, right? So it's pretty much, how much of that do you want, right? And the reason, I'll go over why that is, right? So 93% of American, and after in Canada, there's a 45% of Canadians live with major chronic diseases. On average, about 90% of people have chronic diseases of metabolic issues, right? Whether it's high cholesterol, diabetes, skin disorders, so like acne, pigmentation, gut issues, IBS. There's a lot of different problems that people are having. These are just testimonials from some people. This person said, my IBS is nowhere to be found, and they lost 30 pounds. So weight loss is a big issue as well, right?
Mhm.
And these are all real testimonials, and they go by the day. There's thousands of testimonials, and there's actually science behind what's going on, right? Lost 14 pounds in 2 months, lost 7 pounds. My anxiety is gone, chest pain, acid reflux is gone. I feel amazing. I'm only on day 16. I'm 50 pounds, no more high blood pressure, cholesterol, skin tags, neurology, fatty liver, diabetes. I'm down 49 pounds in 6 months. No more oxygen and CPAP. Down 25 pounds. My husband is off his CPAP in less than 30 days. So people are getting off Dilantin. they're getting off, like all these different medications, metformin, a lot of different things people are coming off of, through this digital product, right? So it statistics show that the global causes of death, right, are metabolic issues, right? So heart
Yeah.
disease remains number one, and then diabetes and dementia, strokes, chronic disease, all these different kidney problems, all these things come from an underlying problem, which is insulin resistance. All right, and insulin resistance is the core of all of these problems, right? And what happens is in the medical field, they'll just give you like a pill for each different one, right? But obviously they're gouging on cash because the pharmaceutical industry knows that it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and people are just going to keep taking it. But it's not meant to actually help them get rid of these problems, It's more for people to just continue taking a bill. So diabetes, stroke, Alzheimer's, dementia, heart disease, fatty liver, PCOS, which is causing a lot of people to be unfertile and not have children, right? Cancer, fatty livers, all of these things. The core problem is insulin resistance. All right. And, as you see, all you see over here, erectile dysfunction, loss of stamina, man boobs and stuff like that, skin tags, cravings for sugar, brain fog, anxiety, depression, tired after meals, abnormal obesity, right? All of these things, increased fat storage, high insulin. Core is insulin resistant. Right. And then as people understand this, then they'll start realizing all of these things actually going away. Right. And we know, I don't know if you heard of Ozempic, but Ozempic is actually, they just came on the market not too long ago. They just got FDA approved last year. And they're actually the highest grossing. They actually beat over Apple and Tesla in market share in terms of the value. Right? That's how
this is the one that killed a lot of people.
Exactly. Yes, it's killing a lot of people out there.
Funny story with that.
Pardon?
Funny story with that. With my last pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
I got the gestational diabetes.
Okay.
And they actually wanted me to be on insulin. I did some research. I ended up not taking it. I told him I'm not going to take it. My husband did some research, and when you see the amount of problems that it costs, we just decided, listen, we're just going to do this the natural way, and that's it. So yeah, I know that one.
Okay, and the thing is, this is even becoming really popular in Hollywood because although it's for diabetes, many people are taking it exactly. So exactly.
Yeah.
Many people are taking it for weight, and that's not what it's for. So it's causing all kinds of problems. But you'll see them advertised all over because they're making so much money because people don't care. A lot of people want to just lose weight, and they're not even looking at the side effects. And there's so many side effects to it.
Yeah.
But it's actually grossing so much money. So what this shows us is that, look, they're sticking needles in themselves so that they can, have lower, like in terms of the insulin, right?
Yes.
So our formula it's a very simple practice, and it's a natural practice, right? So all the ingredients in here are all natural, right? 2 products, 1 practice, and it gives measurable results, right? So the simplicity is for insulin resistance, right? And intermittent fasting, right? Because when you intermittent fast, you're actually allowing for your fat to burn for energy, right? And this is one of the main things that helps with the insulin resistance, but also helps with weight loss. And Unimate is actually a natural Ozempic in a sense, because the reason why Ozempic is making people lose weight because it mimics GLP-1, just a little more detail, but it mimics GLP-1, right? And this is natural GLP-1. So a mimic is like it's making you think that you're not hungry, right? Through a mimicking, but natural GLP-1, as you take the Unimate, which derives from a plant, it actually gives you natural GLP-1. So when you have it, I'm actually having right here. This is the Unamate right here, right? And it helps you prolong your fast, right? So I'm still fasting. I'm gonna actually, after this meeting, I'll go have my first meal, right? But I haven't had any hunger pains, right? And you're allowing the fat to burn and to give you energy, right? Which is actually good for your whole body. You know, it's good for your whole body. It's not just for weight loss, it's actually good for your well-being, right? We're not supposed to be snacking and eating and munching all day, right? And making our digestive system frequently go to work. Me personally, I had IBS issues, so erectile bowel syndrome issues, like digestive issues and stuff like that. And since I've been on this program, that's completely gone. So it derives from the main plant, which is yerba mate, right? Have you heard of yerba mate?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Okay. So yerba mate, it's a plant. It's grown in Argentina, right? And it's so it actually contains every nutrient necessary to sustain life, right? And it's so potent in terms of what it does for you and the energy that it gives you, that even the Argentina soccer team, they ship gallons of it wherever they go and play. So you know, the World Cup, you know, they send gallons of it. You'll see Lionel Messi, you know, drinking some yerba mate, right? Because of all of the benefits that it gives you, right? So Unamate is a purified yerba mate extract, right? And it's so potent that in Argentina they call it the drink of the gods, right? Because of how all of the benefits that it has in it, right? And a process that they go through for Unamate, you know, it's handpicked. So they go and they handpick the yerba mate plants, and then they fire roast it, then they extract it, right? And then they have it concentrated and purified, right? So there's no crash. You don't get no crash. There's no additives, right? It suppresses your hunger and cravings by using stored fat for fuel, right? It boosts your mood, you know, so you're gonna feel great. Your mental and your mental clarity, no more brain fog. Your performance, physical performance will feel good. You have energy, right? It improves your endurance and strength during exercise, right? And it's free from contaminants. There's no pesticides, right? And it's a natural, purified alternative to, and that's right, extract of yerba mate, right? So, you know, you just see over here, there's some data, and there's science behind it as well. You know, a lot of science behind it, you know, in terms of, you know, why it works so well, right? And then there's the other product is Balance, right? So there's two products. So as I mentioned, this is pretty much the program, Unamate Balance, right? So Balance is a pre-meal drink formulated to provide critical fiber and support. So most foods that we eat don't have enough fiber, right? And the fiber is pretty much what our body needs for our digestive system and for our bodies to function well, right? So it slows digestion of carbs, right? And it gives healthy blood and glucose in insulin levels, right? And it's proven to the point where they have a 90-day guarantee, money back guarantee, that if you don't notice your insulin levels, glucose levels, cholesterol levels actually lower, right? And they'll give any client the money back, you know, because it's proven, like they've done studies, like, and even down to Cleveland Clinic, which is like one of the highest rated clinics, did a study on it and showed how great these products are. So without Balance, what happens is our insulin levels are actually high, right? And it raises our insulin levels, which triggers high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you know, a lot of things, right? So this is where our normal blood sugar levels are, and it just boosts it up. And then there's a crash that happens, right? With carbohydrates. When you have food, it brings the blood level up, brings it down, right? It's not like a stable level, right? And with Balance, it pretty much does what it says. It balances your levels, right? So your insulin levels, you know, they go up and it's controlled. So you see in your blood, it stays consistent with your blood levels, right? And a change in your glucose level, you see how it raises up high up here and it comes down. With Balance, it helps control your glucose levels, right? So and all this stuff is proven, right? And it's so proven and backed that it's actually Health Canada approved, right? So if you go in Health Canada and type in Unicity Balance, it'll even give you a full report on the functions and what it does, right? So it says, you see here, helps to maintain normal glucose levels, how to maintain healthy skin, how to maintain healthy hair, bones, nail, and skin, maintains healthy hair and nails, right? So there's so many benefits of you taking Balance. And how you take Balance is pretty much you just chug it down before a meal, like before your first full meal, you just chug down a Balance, right? And then you eat. And so you don't have to change your diet, you don't have to change anything, you just take your Balance before, and it kind of leads your food, and it changed the profile of your food, you know, to give you a healthy gut. And then that it just extracts to the outside of your body, and you start noticing, you know, many benefits in your body, you know, just from using a Balance. So Unicity, it's not a company that just started yesterday, right? They actually were a part of Rexall, right? Rexall started in 1903, right? And they had a Rexall Sundown component, which is a supplement, a component that they had in Rexall. 1990 is when Balance was born, right? It started name as BioLife, right? And so from that, you know, they leveraged the franchise business model, right? So this is where they started to build the franchise. Because what happened was, it used to be in the stores, but they noticed that the product needed education, right? It was more and like a Metamucil. It costs more than, but Metamucil is not even natural, and it doesn't provide the right fiber. You know, it's not even a good product, but it's cheaper than Balance, right? So people will go for that option if it's just on the shelf. So they realized that the shelf option wasn't the right model. So they leveraged it from the franchise model, right? And that's when Unicity was born, right, in 2001, right? And Stuart Hughes, he became the new CEO. So he is the CEO, and he was a franchise partner, owner of the company. But you know, he just believed in the product. He uses the product, and he just believed in it so much, and he generated so much money from this product because everyone needs it, that he actually bought up the company, right? So they have a global manufacturing, you know, so their manufacturing offices they have in Texas, in Las Vegas, in Taiwan, in Korea, you know, so it's actually worldwide, it's global. And then Unimonte launched, where they had the Unimonte. So they had Balance, and then they launched the Unimonte in 2016, right? And on just 3 years ago, Rav Malik, who's actually he's from Toronto, and he's at our Toronto office. He's there all the time. But he's really one of the top franchise owners of this product, and he actually suggested to Stuart Hughes to put the two together. So he is actually a med student, right? And his parents wanted him to be a doctor, but he didn't want to be a doctor because he knows how with doctors, they always have to be working, right? And I know this firsthand as well. I have a client of mine who is a doctor, and he's 75 years old, and he still has to go to work, right? And because with doctors, you only make money as you deal with your patients.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not something that he wanted to do. You know, he didn't want to be working his whole life being a doctor, but he did want to be in a medical field because, you know, that's his interest, right? And so he's seen his product. Someone introduced it to him, and he had his dad actually try, because his dad had high blood pressure, dad had high blood sugars, cholesterol, and everything like that. So he was using it, but his dad was his main testimonial, because he's like, if this works for my dad, then I know I have a product, I know I have a business that actually works and it's sustainable and it can grow, right? So then once he's seen his dad's levels change and stuff like that, then he just ran with it, right? So yeah, he's been involved with the company since about 2016, and he grew the company to where him personally, Rav Malik, earns $1.5 million per month, right? And he shared it with Bikram, who and Christian, who actually shared the business with me, right? So Bikram actually got involved with the business last year, so beginning of last year. So he's been involved for a year and a half, and he's currently earning 160,000 cash flow per month from this business. right? And the company is debt free, right? 100% debt free. It's in over 50 plus countries. The product can be sold all over the world, right? And it's through your phone, right? So it's a simple process, and that's why it works so well, because you don't have to change your diet. It's not a keto thing where you have to change how you eat. You can keep your exact same food how you eat. You just go through this program, which is Unimate Balance, right? And each pretty much pack comes with enough month supply for you to go through this program with the Unimate Balance, right? So basic economics is supply and demand, right? So, for example, you just said about the egg smart place, right? You said the demographic is changing over here, right? So the demand for your location is not the same as it was before, when especially Flowertown area used to be all Portuguese, Italian, like white people mainly, and now mostly Indian people are in there. So the demand of that location is not as much as the pizza place. Pizza place, you're always gonna have the demand, right? But this is basic economics,
Exactly.
right? And with this product, that's why right now it's taken off so much, because when we're looking at supply and demand, we know that there's 50 million people in Ontario, right? 1% of that is 150. Demand for this product is about 90% according to Stats Canada, with people that have these issues. 90%, right? And 1% is our objective, right? So with 1% being our objective, and me just asking you, like, how many people do you know that have those underlying issues that I just mentioned?
Quite a few.
Just off the top of your head, how much people could you think about?
Maybe about 4 or 5.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
everyone knows someone, like, and the average, people say they know about 5 to 10 people that have these issues, right? But Stats Canada says 90%. So our goal is 1%. It's 1% of the market, and 1% of the market is 180 million. That's our goal for this year. We're actually on pace to that, right? And then obviously after that we can continue and go for 2%, 3%. But right now the objective is just 1%. That's all, right? And 3 steps to success, with the franchise. Number 1, set up your franchise. Number 2, have customers, right? And number 3 is the duplication, which is the franchise partners. This is the franchise model is allowing you to alleviate your time and earn more money, right? So, getting started, set up the franchise, right? And it's a digital franchise, so it's $18.49 plus HST. It's one time. It's not like a monthly or yearly thing or anything like that, right? And what happens is you're actually getting product. So you get 10 of the Feel Great system, right? Ready for resale. It includes the shipper box and the bottle with the products, right? And this Feel Great system, they just go through your phone. There's a link, send the link to your phone, and people actually get it, right? They get the product, because you'll be surprised how many people have these issues, right? So customers kind of come automatically, and yeah, that's there. It's passive, right? But the duplication method is a key component, right? So you set up the business, you have 100% ownership. There's no operation, no headaches or costs. You set up your own schedule, no employees, right? We have a community, training and support. It's a global business. It's in over 50 plus countries. Major tax advantages, patented products. So I forgot to mention that. So these products are actually patented, but only franchise owners can sell this product. Like, no one else can go out and make it or sell it, right? The company is 100% free, privately held. There's unlimited income potential, and it provides residual income, right? So with customers, like I said, you have your site, so, and on your site, you have a referral link. You sent the link. Anytime anyone orders the product, you earn around $20 to $25 per order that they get, right? And it's passive, so you just send it off. If they want to refer, they actually get a discount if they refer it to anyone. your next order, and then it will all come through you, and you'll get paid from it, right? That's the step number 2, right? And then so these are just some results from just people that are using the product, right? This guy, he's actually a digital franchise owner. He's a realtor. I know him as well. You'll see him by the office, right? He lost about 40 pounds within like a month on this product. Wow. You know what I mean? Like the results are amazing, right? So all these are real people. Like you see over here, that the transformation is amazing, right? But even for people who are slim, right? Like the program works for them as well, right? Because if you don't have fat, it's not going to really take much fat, but what it does is it's actually going to heal your, me, I'm not big as well, but I've noticed the improvements, big time, right? So that's why the duplication, the model works, like I said, there's thousands of testimonials, everything's already kind of like on it. It's the green light is already on, right? So now, what the duplication part is one of the parts where we're really looking to expand on by finding franchising partners, people that see it, they see the 1% mission, they see it's possible, they know that, hey, you know what, this is something that I feel can be beneficial for me, and we want you to come on board and join us as a partner, to this and grow, and that's pretty much having other people see it, and they also want to set up a franchise, right? It's also on your digital link. You see, as these links are here, just copy, paste, you send, they just click on here and they become a franchise owner. This is where the duplication method happens. So even if they're a product user, a customer, right, and then they could actually upgrade. And I actually have someone actually doing that this week, where they start as a customer, they tried it for a week, they've seen the results, and now they actually want to be a franchise owner, right? So they can just upgrade, use the upgrade link, and then they can upgrade from a customer to a franchise owner, right? And this franchise model, getting into franchise, and you own a franchise, so you know how it works, right? So with franchising, if we look at McDonald's, right? McDonald's, they have over 1,400 locations across Canada, right? They employ over 100,000 people, right? Guests served every day. They sell over 1 million customers per day, right? And this is from the McDonald's website, right? 90% of McDonald's Canadian restaurants are locally owned and operated by independent franchisees, right? So the thing is, as a franchisee, it's good. You're a franchisee, so you know what it is. It's all right, right? So McDonald's franchisee applicants must have a minimum of 500,000 available liquid assets and pay a $45,000 franchise fee, right? Those looking to launch a new McDonald's can expect to shell out between 1.3 to 2.3 million dollars. If not, I'm asking for the Exmart. What's your franchise fee there?
The franchise fees are it's about 6% of the sales.
Okay, 6% of the sales. Okay,
yeah.
So 6% of the sales. Oh, so they don't have an annual fee; it's just more off the sales.
Yes.
Oh, so that's decent. That's not that bad, right? And then for Caesars, Little Caesars, what about that one?
It's around the same thing.
Okay,
they don't have an annual.
And okay, so 6% of the sales. Okay, that's all right, right? But here it is now. That is their business.
Yes.
Right. That is so Little Caesars does not allow you to franchise out another Little Caesars, right?
No.
They only allow you to be a franchisee where you pay those franchise fees, right? But that's their business. Their business is franchising out locations. McDonald's business is franchising out locations, right? Because as they franchise out locations, as we see, have 1 million served. But let's say it was the same component as what you have, where it's a 6%, right? So they're earning 6% off 1 million per day, 1 million clients per day, right? That's the difference between franchisees and franchisors, right? So
yeah,
if we look at franchising, let's look at the burger model, right? So let's say there's a small little burger shop, they have a truck, may sell about 100 to 200 burgers per day, right? And that's the revenue, right? Then we have Sonny's, you know, Sonny's little mom and pop shop, right? They're one location, right? And they have individual sales. Let's say they sell about $500 to $1,000. I mean, 1,000 burgers per day or per week or whatever the case may be, right? So they only make sales selling burgers, right? So they're in the burger selling business, right? McDonald's, the Five Guys, and Egg Smart and Little Caesars, they're in the franchise selling business, right? And this is where money is really made, right? Because as McDonald's sells out all their different franchises, they have 1 million customers being sold per day. So that individual franchisee will make their money from, you know, location, right? McDonald's make that 6% or whatever royalty off every single location, right? So that's passive. That's passive because they don't have to physically be in there working, hiring, doing any of that stuff. They just franchise the location. They have their system in place, right? And then after you work the system, and then you make your revenue, but they get their fee. Same thing with franchise. So that's why they're able to sell over 1 million a day, right? And Five Guys, it's a franchise. They're making over, they're selling over 100,000 collectively through all the Five Guys location, right? So this is why the digital franchising model is becoming so popular, because with digital franchising, you actually operate from up here, where you can actually franchise out locations through the phone, right? And as you send out these locations, you actually get royalty from all the franchises that are set up, right? McDonald's and Five Guys, they don't let you set up, they can't let you go franchise out. If you want a franchise, you can get one, but only they could do the franchising, right? With digital franchising, you're allowed to do the franchising. So the model from the business is 2 customers and 1 franchise partner a month, per month, right? And this is where duplication comes in. This is why Bikram in a year and a half, you know, is earning over 160,000 per month, and why Rav makes over 1.5 million per month. Because of the franchise model, right? He's able to franchise locations. So these guys, they're going all over the world, right? So Rav, like last 2 weeks ago, he was in Germany, he went to France, he went to UK, and one other place in the European thing, because he has franchise partners that are out there that are growing their franchises, right? And it's just making them money. So that's the power of duplication, right? So the business in terms of franchising starts with you, right? So that's just one, year's one, right? But then so 1 and 1 in month 1, you have 2, right? Then a duplication method, right? There's a franchise owner, someone else owns a franchise, and they're following this method where each month there's 1 franchise partner that is getting involved with the business, right? So it duplicates. So in month 2, there's 4 franchise partners. Month 3, there's 8 franchise partners. Month 4, 16, then 32, then 64, 128, and it's rounding off, goes 250. Month 9, you have 500 franchise partners. Month 10, 1,000. Month 11, 2,000. And month 12, 4,000 franchise partners, right? So in 12 months, Kersha, how many franchise were you able to set up? Did you need to set up?
In 12 months?
Yeah. It's just one a month. It's just one a month.
Yeah.
So it's 12.
12, yeah.
Right?
So,
but through the power of duplication, there'll actually be 400 franchises set up in your organization after 12 months.
okay.
You had a question, go ahead.
No, continue.
Okay. Yeah, so there's 4,000. So you only shared with 12 franchise partners. People own their franchise, they're selling their products, they have the customers, they're making their money, but you only invite 12, right? And the organization is growing to over 4,000 through the power of duplication, right? And all of this there, and we share the skills and all that, how to make this happen. But 4,000 times $10 per customer. Let's say 10 customers you have with the one partner, 2 customers, right? Let's say average you get 10 customers, right? So that equates to $40,000. I mean, sorry, 40,000 actual products sold, right? And this company will pay you a $5 royalty, right? From anyone in that whole organization, you know, of franchises that actually are selling this product. You're getting a $5 royalty from each of them, which equates to $200,000 per month, right? And this is, and I know it sounds like maybe like this is extreme, but this is happening in our office. Like, you know, it's happening in our office. I'll introduce you to people who are earning over 200,000 a month. As I mentioned, Bikram's at 160. We have many people at over 50,000 a month, right? And they've been in for less than a year and a half. So the model is actually happening, right? And, you know, pretty much the question is very simple. You know, how many people do you know, that can that are looking to earn an extra 5K to 50K a month, right? And right now in this time, we're finding that it's pretty much everyone. You know, I don't know how many people do you personally know that are looking for extra 5K to 50K a month?
Quite a bit.
Exactly, right? And that's so when it comes to health, and we know that this product is in need, there's a high demand for it, right? And like I have my real estate clients that are getting on, right? So one of my clients I spoke to last night, not last night, sorry, last week. We've done a lot of transactions together in real estate, and she just follows me and she said, "Hey, Rich, what is this thing?" Right? And after I just showed her, look, it helps with this. She's like, "Rich, I'm pre-diabetic, and my husband is diabetic, and we've been for years, and we don't want to take medication, but we have to. You know, send me the link. You know, send me the link." Right? And then now she's a customer of mine, right? But like, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about her because I didn't know she was diabetic. You know what I mean? I didn't know that she had these problems, but you'll be surprised how many people have these problems, right? And then, hey, how many people are looking to earn money? Right now, the money thing is, there's actually more, you know, everyone has underlying problems. The money thing is what people are more gravitating towards because everyone could earn an extra 2,000 per month, you know, whether even if it's an extra 1,000 or 2,000 a month, it can help out, right? And timing right now is really important because right now we're here in a concentration phase where you know, people are getting on board and they're seeing what's going on. They like the model, the digital franchise model, and they're coming on board. But it is still really early in terms of the people who are on board, and that's why the momentum is actually picking up really fast, right?
Yeah.
And you know, when we go down to basic economics, this is why, you know, like supply and demand, you know, it's like it's math. If you do the math, then it just makes sense, right? So, you know, in terms of how to get started, I mentioned, you know, it's 1, 2, 3. This is pretty much the whole method. There's training, it's the necessary skills, you know, the presentation's yours, like everything, all the tools and everything's already there, right? It's just about, okay, who's looking to improve their health and who's looking to earn some extra money, you know, and we're just kind of like sifting through, showing it to people, and the people who see it, they see it. The people who don't, you know, thanks for taking a look at it, right? This is what's happening, right? So to get started, there's 2 approaches, right? There's a gradual approach, and then there's a fast approach, right? The gradual approach is, you know, get on as a customer, right? It's $179 plus HST, right? Use the product, right? And as you use the product, you see the benefits from it, you know, share it with your friends and family, you know, let them see, you know, the benefits of it, even give them a Unimate, have them try it, you know, give them a balance, let them see the results that they're getting. They'll feel their energy, they'll feel, you know, the boost. They'll, you know, people who have like stomach issues and like where they have experiencing bloating, you know, people experiencing bloating, like after their first Unimate, they'll notice that go away, right? And then it builds the belief in the product. You'll see, okay, wow, this product really does work, right? And then also as a customer, you receive referral discount. You know, so, you know, if you go out, if you like the product, you get a discount on the product, but you're actually creating that product awareness. And then you'll start to see people actually wanting more information. You know, they want more information on the product, right? And then from there, you could upgrade at any time, right? Upgrade as a digital franchise distributor, right? And then the fast approach is to just get started right away and just be a digital franchise distributor. It's one time, $18.49, right? Plus HST comes around $2,000, right? You register a Unicity online office, right? So all that stuff set up for you. You get your website, you get everything set up for you, right? Paylution account, which is where your money will go into as sales happen. Your money goes into your Paylution account, right? And they give you like a card, and you can even transfer it to your PayPal, and then your PayPal could send to your bank account, right? You schedule a business strategy session. So that's something that we pretty much give you the ins and outs and break it down. They have a school thing where you could log into. You know, everything's there, all training, you know, and everything like that. And even testimonials are all there for you to see what it helps for. Like, pretty much helps for everything. I'll say that, because insulin resistance is an underlying problem. It's like kind of like everyone sees the tip of the iceberg, but the root of that iceberg is insulin resistance, right? We have training and calls. You could go in the office at any time, you know, and which is the office located near the airport, near Pearson Airport. They have 3,000 square feet, and because it's growing so fast, they took over the floor above as well. It's 6,000 square feet added, you know, that they took over, right? And this is just for people coming in and just seeing the presentation, you know, and stuff. So it's really growing. It's really growing really fast, right? And then you network with the community. So even with your business, you know, network. Like I met with another a developer, you know, at the office. He's developing about 50 homes in Niagara, you know. So I'm getting business that way as well. There's mortgage brokers, business owners, like all different people from different industries that you network with, right? And yeah, and you build your business and you earn cash flow. You know, it really is as simple as that. You know, that's pretty much what the digital franchise is. It's on your phone. Like I said, there's no monthly fee for your site, so you don't have to like pay every month to keep the site up. You know, once you set it up, you're a distributor, right? And then they have rankings, and with the rankings, they have, you know, different obviously, you know, residuals. So like I said, it's like you're pretty much like Ray Kroc. You're the McDonald's. You're franchising out locations, and they pay you from your entire organization. You're getting royalties. So it's something where you don't have to really go out and do all the work. You know, it kind of grows on its own.
Okay.
Right? But of course, you gotta know the skills and everything which they teach and everything, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Right. So based on what you heard, where would you like to go from here?
Can you send me the information so I can review it?
Mm-hmm.
And I will get back to you within a day or so.
Yeah, for sure. So for the information, what information are you looking for? Just so I make sure I send you the right stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff to send, right? Like, what information do you particularly want?
Send me the startup information and just like a small blurb about it. I just gotta run it by my husband here.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
to make sure we're both on the same page.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll send you startup information. Does your husband care about like the science and stuff like that? Like actually the details about it, like because there's like a lot of reports on it as well.
The health aspect would be good.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll send you the Health Canada link, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then even if your husband wants like some more, like, you know, like to like a more understanding, what we can do is we could set up another in-person meeting where we'll have you at the office, right? Then you can see the real deal. Like, you know, you can see what's really going on. You know, this is no gimmick. It's really professional. You'll see the professionals that are there. There's other franchise owners that are there. Like I said, a California Sandwich owner. He actually owns the California Sandwiches, right? So he actually franchises out, but this is up for him because he likes it because there's no overhead, no employees, you know, and stuff like that. Like a lot of the headaches that you experience in a brick and mortar business don't exist here, right? And the comp plan is the same for everyone. So Rav, who's earning 1.5 million a month, it's the same thing that once you become a franchise owner, the same things for you. So it's kind of like the formula set. right? And it's just about following the formula, and you eventually you have to get there because the formula is already set. It's just a matter of, okay, is this you know, how much time can you put in? If you do it part-time, I'm doing it part-time, so it's growing, right? But there's some people that, you know, got involved same time as me, where they're taking this, they're going all in with it, and they're taking it in, and obviously, you know, their cash flow is growing, it's growing more than me. But mine's coming along. Like, it's something that's building, and you know, it's just kind of building on its own now. You know, like once it gets going, right, and you have people that, like I said, I have people that are reaching out, just wanting to use the product as customers, and then you know, I'm having these Zoom meetings, you know, pretty much every day right now, just showing people what's going on, right, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is. When it comes to system, the system's very simple. You know, like it's just more product awareness. You know, like I said before, they were on the shelves, people didn't know what the product does, so no one knew. You know, it wasn't really moving. But now, through the model that they have now, where we're the franchise distributors, then we can now educate. You know, we can educate, and then people, when they see what it is, then it just, you know, it just gravitates people towards it. So I'll send you startup info. I'll send you Health Canada. Is there anything else that your husband may want to know that it will help him, you know, to help make an informed decision?
No, that should be good. And if he wants more information, I'll make sure we make another meeting with you.
Okay, perfect. All right, good stuff. And how about yourself? Do you have any other questions or?
No, not at this time.
Okay, cool. All right, good stuff. All right, Kirsha, yeah, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. I'll send you an email right after this with the links.
Okay.
Right, and then yeah, just follow up with me tomorrow. Let me know, you know, where you're at with everything, and then we take it from there.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Have a great day.
Thanks.
God bless. Bye.